Feel the difference with CBD direct oils.
CBD oils may have the health benefits for your aches and pains.
Thanks for sponsoring our show. Edgy Tools, it's the little things that make the big difference.
The king of useful doodads, making your job easier every day.
Welcome to another episode of PDR Tool Time, and this one's a special one. It's our 200th episode. Wow, milestone. I'm your host, Daniel Grom, along with the OG, Vince D'Alessandro.
Hey, what's going on, Daniel? How are you, buddy?
I'm doing good, man.
Could you imagine 200?
We're knee up into the holiday season and looking at episode number 200, and we're like, yeah.
200. Holy cow.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Milestone.
It is a milestone.
I'm excited. We're going to bring a great show to you. We're going to do This Week in Tools, what's new out there. And we're going to cover Vince's meetup, tech meetup down in LA. And look like you guys had a lot of fun. And talking about some scanners coming up. So we got a full pack show here for you.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Let's talk about 200, man, where we started and where we're at now.
Yeah.
Man.
Well, if we go back in history and how it all came about was, just our drunken tool review at Mobile Tech Expo, right?
Right.
Like, hey,
yeah.
We were doing it, 2-3 o'clock in the morning, and we had like 2,000 people worldwide watching us do tool reviews on what we just bought. And it was pretty incredible. And we just kind of, the four of us got together originally and put it together every week. And I think we've been doing this now for 3 years?
Yeah. How about that?
About 3 years.
Oh, are we going on 4? I guess we're going on 4, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah. But I think we've only missed 1 week where we were not on out of all that time.
Yeah.
Almost 2. This week.
Yeah, it was a Christmas break or something, I think.
Yeah. So we really appreciate all you guys that tune in and week out. We know there's a lot of you out there worldwide, over in Australia and England and Europe and stuff, and especially our brothers in arms here in the USA. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's interesting to look back and where we started and coming through. We've come a long ways, and we're going to be able to give back this time at MTE, and we're hosting a meetup get together after Friday night, and we're one of the hosts along with Pints and Polishing. And is Mobile Tech RX one of the hosts too?
Yes, it's the three of us.
Yeah. So it's the three of us.
Yeah, Pints and Polishing, Mobile Tech RX, and us at PDR Tool Time. And
am I correct? We're buying the beer?
We are buying the beer. It's beer and wine. And there's going to be some fun games
Who made that decision? We don't have any money to buy beer.
Yeah, well, it's coming out of our own pockets. But that's okay.
Because we love you guys. We love our audience. That's how much.
Yes. And the other thing, too, is we have the biggest booth at MTE this year, and that's all thanks to the good people over at Mobile Tech Expo. They liked our vision for our PDR Tool Time Playground, and we kind of did a little version of that in Vegas, and now we're bringing the big show to Orlando, which we expect all you guys to come over and try out tools and hang out and share your tech experiences with other technicians. It's going to be an awesome thing. And we have 2 bars on each side of us.
Yeah. So it's going to be the hangout.
Yeah. And we'll probably be doing some live broadcasting and stuff like that too as well. They gave us another booth right across from it, which is great.
So if there's any local guys, if you can bring your living room furniture to the show so we can have nice comfy couches and a coffee table to sit at. And
how about patio furniture? Bring your patio furniture.
Bring us something.
And some pink flamingos, because it is Florida after all.
That's a good idea. Gotta have pink flamingos.
Make it look like a little tiki bar.
Yeah. Don't bring live ones. Bring the plastic ones.
Yes. No live ones.
We don't want no poop.
Bird flamingo poop. So you know what?
So
The PDR Tool Time Playground is kind of like what we just had this weekend here on the West Coast with our tech meetup. You know,
okay.
Because realistically, it was awesome. This is the second one we've done. We did one. We're planning on doing one once a quarter is the plan at someone else's shop every quarter. And so the first one was at my shop last quarter. This one was at Jeff McGill's shop in Huntington Beach City's PDR. And he's good friends with Chip Foose, and he works on his cars and stuff. So Chip showed up at about 8:30 in the morning to deliver one of his cars for us to, do a photo shoot on and just check out.
And you get to meet Chip?
I got to meet Chip, yeah.
Awesome.
And I've met him a couple times before at other trade shows and stuff. But he's a super, super nice guy. I mean,
did he ask for your autograph?
He didn't, but he was at my Anson table with all the tools, and he was there for quite a bit, and I talked to him about what we have as tools. And he did go home with a Magnatech mat.
Sweet.
Yeah. I asked him, hey, what's your favorite color? He's like, obviously green. Look at my car. I said, all right, green it is.
Nice.
So he was very grateful and thankful, and just all around super nice guy.
Well, look for the Magnatech mat showing up on Overhauling or one of those shows or something.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll do that, but it'd be great if he did. If not, I understand. There's sponsorships and people pay for stuff like that, and I'm not going to.
Well, you get my mat, man. That's worth something.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So we counted about 65 in attendance. So 65, 68.
That's more than some trade shows.
Yeah. Yeah. It was cool. There was a lot of talk about tools, and there was vendors there. The Anson, myself, I was representing Anson.
Anson came out?
Well, myself.
Oh, okay.
I'm part of Anson.
You're Anson.
I'm Anson West Coast.
I know. I'm talking about the van.
No. It's really hard for them.
No, they went to another tech meetup.
Yeah, there's been a lot of Toys for Tots going on, so they went separate ways. We're in different parts of the country doing, Toys for Tots or tech meetups. So it was kind of cool.
But you had other tool companies there.
Yes, Ultra was there. Kiko came out and brought their stuff. So Dave and Chris White were there. Dave Schlott, a good buddy of ours. And let's see, who else was there? Matt from Get a Grip was there.
Yeah.
And 1-800-DENTDOC was there representing, which I'm not exactly sure. I didn't really talk to them about why they were there, but probably did recruit some technicians for the area. So all in all, it was a really great event. Jeff got up and spoke about Mobile Tech RX and how to, quote cars properly and things like that. And then Jeff also brought in a couple body shop guys to talk about, the impact of PDR on body shops and stuff like that. And that was really good too. And someone brought up a very good point that we're going to have to discuss, and that is drilling holes in cars. So one of the technicians that was there brought it up when the body shop guy was talking, right? And he said, hey, what do you guys feel about PDR technicians drilling holes for access? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Do not drill holes. And they were almost shocked to hear that we were drilling holes, or some were drilling holes to gain access. So that's going to have to be, revisited here and talked about a little bit.
Sorry, I drill holes. I just do it.
There's liability
I
involved.
do it clean. Okay. I disagree. I'm going to disagree with that. It has liability issues other than rust, but in California, we don't have to deal with it. But, I think if you do it cleanly, it's no different than a factory hole. What's the difference? Obviously, if you're drilling it,
where you're doing it is the difference and the importance, and there's liabilities involved.
Don't get me wrong. We've all seen the horror stories of what people have done before. But like back east, Chicago, you guys, this going back some years, but they used to do that rust stuff, and they would drill like hundreds of holes, right?
Yeah. And they still do.
Yeah.
So,
and over all the years, that there has been creating holes. I've never heard of a single incident where it's a liability issue. So I think I don't get it.
Well, the cars are changing now. 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, airbags were indoors, right? Now they're not indoors. They're side curtains. They're coming out of the pillars. They're coming out of your seat that you're sitting in on the side, and they're coming out from your knees and all that stuff. So all that stuff is timed by something, and that sensor is in a door, right? So the theory is when you're drilling holes in doors, you're now changing the dynamics of that door, the architecture of that door. So it's not so much about the rusting, it's about the fact that the sensor that's in a door is timed now for the airbags to go off, because airbags before, they would just explode, boom, done, right? And now, depending on the impact on the side of the car, depends on how much of that airbag gets deflated. So it's all happening within milliseconds. So when you get a side collision and someone hits the door at, say, 15 miles an hour, that airbag is not going to deploy at the same speed as it would at impact at 50 miles an hour. You see where I'm going with that? Okay.
So you're thinking a 1/4-inch hole is going to change that?
We don't know. It has the capacity of changing that. And manufacturers say no, do not drill holes. So if we're following what a manufacturer says,
well, of course the manufacturer is going to say that. They're going to, they're going to cover their butts.
Yeah.
No matter, because if they don't have the information, they're going to just default to no.
Right.
I think if you're drilling a hole, number one, do with a step drill or a Christmas tree drill bit that hones it, makes it nice and clean. Seal it with paint afterwards. This is what I do when I have to do one, and then I fix the hole with my hole straightener, so that I know when I'm putting that plug back in that it's airtight, just like the factory is. And I'm taking all those steps to do it correctly, and I think all of this had started back for the rental car agencies because of Dent Wizard using a big old spike and punching holes and then putting some dum-dum gum in it. And they saw that and they said, no drilling holes. Well, you guys weren't even drilling holes back there. So I blame it all on Dent Wizard.
Well, the funny thing is that, punching a hole would not create rust, like particles and scrap metal coming off of that, So really, it's probably a cleaner hole.
No, because you're pushing in that panel, you're damaging a larger area by pounding on it. You can loosen up a spot weld or something like that, I think. Enough about drilling holes.
Yeah, it's something that we need to discuss. And I'm not anti-hole, but if it takes me 5 minutes to take a panel off to fix the dent, I just take the panel off and fix the dent rather than drill a hole.
See, to me, it's not about that. It's how am I going to be able to do a cleaner repair if you got a super sharp dent and you have to do a long door tool and it's just not going to come out as clean, where if you can drill a little 1/4-inch. I mean, I do more with 1/4-inch holes and that's about the size of the hole I usually drill.
Yeah.
The new all the stand liner 1/4-inch tools.
Yeah.
That's all I'm able to take out big dents with those tools.
Yeah.
Their tools their 1/8-inch tools are amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very strong.
Very strong.
But
it's something that, it's going to be an ongoing discussion. It's always been an ongoing discussion, but the architecture of cars are changing, so it's just one of those things.
Well, I think it's our responsibility to spread it and say, hey, do it right. If you're going to do it, do it clean, do it the way I just said, but keep it to a minimum.
Yeah. So anyways, getting back to the West Coast meetup, let's call Myke real quick and wake him up. And he's probably hungover, like I'm a little bit hungover too. And
what were you guys drinking last night?
At what point?
Well, you sent me a picture.
Oh yeah, we went out to dinner to my favorite place. I've taken you there before, Daniel, when you were down here, 320 Main in Seal Beach. It's a great little place. We were drinking painkillers there.
Yeah, painkillers.
And then we moved down to the Irish pub for some live music and some festivities. And we were drinking mules there.
Nice.
Kentucky mules or Irish mules. Yeah, it's an Irish bar. We were drinking Irish whiskey. So, yeah, it was a lot of fun. It's kind of a weird time for after parties because, the West Coast Meetup, a lot of people had to go to Christmas parties. So we didn't have a bigger crowd at the after party that we normally would have, but that's all right too.
Yeah.
So it was good. All around it was good. So while we're talking here, I'll try and get Mikey on the phone. He was supposed to spend the night at my place and he ended up driving home, and I'm like, oh man, that's a long drive.
Yeah.
What's up, Mikey Toledo? How you doing?
Tired.
Well, Mike, you're live on PDR Tool Time.
Oh man,
dude, why did you drive home last night, man? Are you still drunk?
No, I'm not drunk. No, I wouldn't drive home if I was drunk. No way.
No.
Besides, I had an entertaining ride home, man. So
I bet.
Yeah,
you were riding home with.
Yeah. So, well, you made it home last night. What was your impression on the West Coast Meetup that we just had?
You know what? It was a different vibe again, man. It was like it was good, definitely. Of course, I had to leave for a couple hours, so I felt like I missed like the meat of the core of it, the meat of it. So, yeah, I liked it. I liked Jeff's shop. It was awesome.
You did a great
still
job,
a lot of connection.
by the way, on your posts. I really enjoyed, you looking at all the old tools and all that.
Yeah, because I thought that was pretty cool. Jeff had a good layout, and he obviously still uses his old tools. And unlike me, I kind of like retire them, and I kind of always like to use newer tools. I'm just that kind of guy. But Jeff's like super proud of his older tools, and he should be, man, because it's almost like you're really sentimental with tools that have made you basically remind you of your startup of your career, and that's, you could tell that's what Jeff was about in the shop. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then you had David Ricketts show up to do photo shoots, which was awesome. That was kind of
it was kind of last minute, and I don't think I promoted it well enough either, because some of most of the guys weren't very prepared to do a photo shoot. So, but yeah, it turned out good. Whoever the people who did do it, and it was look really nice. They came out really, really good. So especially the mustache one. So.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
I'm so happy that my mustache has become famous. I might have to keep it now, huh?
Everybody's like just jumping on. You just have, you know what? No, just get rid of it after Christmas, but bring it back in the holidays again, dude.
Yeah,
the holiday stash, dude.
The holiday stash. Yeah. But
did you guys meet any new techs that you haven't met before?
Yeah,
we did. There was a couple of local guys in my area. One guy did hail, and he was from Oceanside, and I've heard of him. I just never met him. Super nice guy. I can't remember where he's from. He was kind of from a different country. I'm not sure which one it was, but he's been doing hail, and he's been Oceanside since 2008. So,
wow, yeah. There was a handful of new guys that didn't show up for the one at the previous one at my place, but you know what? It's just it's good networking and talking, and we're not trying to price fix or anything like that, but we're talking about keeping prices up and using Mobile Tech RX to get the proper money out of these jobs that we're doing, and stop lowballing. And there was guys that they opened up and say, hey, I lost a big account this year, and there was a lot of good sharing going on, right, Mike?
Yeah, it was. And it wasn't like, we're not going to mention the person that mentioned that to us, but he had a good attitude about it. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like, he felt comfortable though. You know what I mean? It wasn't panicking. So
Yeah.
he was like, he knew that, like, hey, this door closes, another one opens. And I think that's a great attitude for anybody who has challenges through their career, because it's really about not how hard you fell, it's about how fast you got up, and that's a good thing to do, to talk to other guys as well. That's one thing I like about the meetup, is that we can all relate and give each other, emotional support, and then obviously ideas on how to attack that challenge.
Yeah, absolutely. And there was like 2 or 3 of them that were sharing experiences like that, where they've lost a big account, and how they got complacent, right? They thought,
Yep.
Everything's fine here. It's been my account for 8 years or 10 years. And next thing you know, new management comes in and boom, they're gone. And you're sitting there, with your head spinning like, holy crap, what just happened? Having all my eggs in one basket wasn't a good idea, right?
That's what I've been preaching a long time. I mean, look, dealerships and wholesale accounts and rental car places are all awesome, very, very good. Money's unbelievable, but unfortunately, you can't control that future, dude. It's very hard. You always, and you're right. You can't put your eggs in one basket. I mean, you've got to always continue to work on yourself, your company, and growing in different areas.
Yeah.
But
and that's where, that was a great idea, having the photo shoot, because it gave, guys an opportunity to get professional photos to promote their company and stuff like that. And that's what you and John do with Mega Media. You got to push forward always with your company.
Yeah. It's kind of given them a taste of what kind of like Mega Media event is. Obviously the photos was a lot like it, but that was just a taste of it. But
yeah,
but it's giving people more motivation. Like, hey man, I still got a lot more work to do for my company. I just can't. I can't get too comfortable.
Right.
Even though it's nice. I mean, yeah, you have your own company and you're maybe content, but you can do more. If you feel that in your head, or if you get that feeling, you got to do it.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome.
Well, let's talk about some tools here, because that's what the show's about.
Hey, do you want to hang out for a second, Myke, or do you want to go?
What's that?
Can you hang
I'll
out?
hang out for a second. Hang out for a second.
Well, I want to talk to Myke about something specifically.
Yeah, go ahead, John. No, Daniel.
The Glexo shrinking tips.
Glexo.
Yeah.
Glexo. What do you, so you got some, right, Myke?
I did.
And what's your first impressions of it? Have you been able to use it any at all?
I have. I'll get to that part, but my first impressions was, wow, it looks beautiful. It looks like jewelry.
Yeah.
At first, I thought it was a tab to put glue on, and I'm like, wait a minute, they really don't want that glue to come off now, do they? I thought that was like, it was like hold the cold glue on it. You know what I mean? And I'm like, and then I pulled it out, and I'm looking, I'm like, well, this is not going to screw into anything or hold. This is a push tip. And but my first impressions when pushing with it is, look, first of all, just right off the bat, it's a tool that if you think you're going to have an oil can dent, or you got to pull that out. You got to use that. It's not a dent that or tool tip you would use to just push a regular door ding out. That's not what it's for. So anybody's thinking, well, why would I want that? It's for shrinking metal that's stretched. That's what it's for, and to tighten it up. And
now, did you use it on metal or aluminum?
My first test was steel. So
okay.
That's why I made really stretched steel. So, listen, I know if you guys out there, if you're a good, decent hail tech, you're going to love these tips, because you already know how to push, and you've probably been somewhat know how to save oil can dents. But there's times where you wish you did. You're busting out the finesse tools, tips, sharp tips, and you're trying to tighten up the metal. Well, imagine 15 of those pushing all at once. And that's what's great about it. It really is tightening up the metal. But it's not going to do that for every stretched oil can dent. So, I mean, I was really stretching dents, and but it works. Also, can I mention the other tool that came out too? Because this is where it kind of goes hand in hand. VIP sent their version of a smaller diameter shrinking tip.
Yeah, we all got that one, I think.
Yeah, and I think it's vital that you can use both of them, because as I was using that tool before I had the VIP tips, I'm talking the titanium sonic tips from Glexo, is that when the dent got really small, you're like, man, I wish I had just a smaller. I was reaching for a regular one tip, sharp tip to finish it out. So I think the VIP tip will be definitely a good collaboration with it. And I think between those two tips, it's great. But
yeah,
it's not.
You can also stick that in a hole.
Yeah, don't get rid of your power PDR box, because you're still going to need that. I mean, I think it's going to help at least 50% of the oil can dents or better with these tips. But if you can't save it by then, at least you'll get it super well where the power PDR box can just do its thing easily. So
yeah, I'm looking forward to trying it on aluminum, because I think it's really going to benefit on aluminum. But is it really?
I agree.
Is it really shrinking metal, or is it displacing the metal a little bit differently? I think it's more of a displacement thing, you know.
It's hard to say. I'd say a little bit both. It is. It pushes like that's the good thing about it, though. It pushes like a regular tip. But here's another thing too. You got to keep it balanced. I mean, you got to make sure that the extension of the tip is perfectly flat against the dent. If you are cockeyed it a little bit, you're going to poke it
RX, the app that helps you make more money.
Oh, sorry. Hit a button there.
Sponsored by. Leave that in there, man. Who cares?
Yeah, that's funny.
So, going back to making sure that the tip is balanced. Now, some guys were already saying that it needs to be kind of on a pivot tip. So, and I kind of agree. If it's on a pivot tip, not a super loose one, but a kind of a tightened pivot tip. That way, if you are having, go ahead. What?
I think there's an opportunity there. I think, if you look at our regular rods with removable tips, what's that angle? It's like a 40 degree or something like that. And the new tips that Anson just came out with were at a 60% angle. And we need a new set of picks at a 60% angle with removable tips to match up with these tips.
I would think they're out there already.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen any. Anson was the first one to do it with that pivot tip picks. And
what do you mean pivot tip? Okay, I got you.
The pivot picks. Pivot picks.
Yeah.
Sorry, too many P's. So go to Ultra and have Steve make a set with a 60% angle.
Well, what about he does have screw-on angles. You hear me? He has got screw-on.
He has it at 90. Yeah. But the angle is at 90 or 40, I think, are the two angles. So we need it at 60 to make it right, in my opinion.
Or someone's just going to make a whole pivot tip system like that, like that, and it won't matter what tool you're using. So you know what I mean? Because I see Hilltech, they like to most of them they like to have an angle when they're pushing. You know what I mean? They're not straight on. I like to push differently. Of course, I'm gonna be truthful. I don't push hail consistently enough to be telling everybody to push straight.
Yeah.
Right.
These guys, I watched Todd
Zimmerman.
Todd Zimmerman, hell of a Hilltech. He pushes at an angle. You know what I mean? And he likes it that way. He deliberately tells me he likes pushing at an angle.
Yeah.
So the best option would be a pivot tip, because there are going to be guys that want to push straight, push at an angle, but you just have to be aware when you're using that tip, though. That's all.
Yeah. Well, even like if it was on the end of a Endeavor, the 80-20 bar, you have different angles. You could go straight up. You could 40, 60. You could put a pivot tip on the end of that, and it would pivot around.
Definitely.
So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's
I mean,
ways.
you guys have you tried it yet, Daniel?
I only got one opportunity to use it on, and I used it on a hatchback, and it was really, really tight metal, and it wasn't the right type of dent. I think the dent needs to be in more of an opener area where there's some bounce to the panel. I just started seeing all the tips marks in that tight part.
Well, here's the deal, though. I know at least 4 companies that are coming out with this style of tip right now. Obviously there's 2 that have hit the market. You got the VIP, which actually VIP is not even for sale right now. Those were prototypes that we received. Yeah. So really,
and his pattern is closer together too. If you notice that,
yeah,
the spikes are closer,
and not
together.
as sharp, and not as sharp,
not as sharp too.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and then there's 2 other ones that I know for sure that are coming out. And me personally, I think this all derived from the ding tool. You know what I mean? With the pins on it. Would you think
it developed that? I mean, that fast? I mean, from well, I guess it was October. October, was it?
Yeah.
But I heard somebody was posted something like this on, I don't know if it was on yours or Tactical, but someone posted this with the pivot tip. So, and it was his own little creation, and then somebody saw it, and then all of a sudden it's now you see all these different ones out.
The first time I saw it was over a year ago, and some European guy posted one.
That's what it was.
It looked more like a crown.
Yeah.
Like,
but there was someone else who said that someone came out with this years ago as well. I think Ron Cornyn made mention of something like this that was out, 10, 15 years ago. So I just thought with that ding tool, everyone had an aha moment when they saw it. It's like, well,
probably, I don't know, probably. Yeah. So I mean, that's I mean, I hate to say it, man. Obviously nowadays in 2019, now 2020, the guy could have an idea, take it to his local machine shop because they can cat it out, and next thing you know, within 5 days, you got a freaking tool. I mean, that's how fast PDR tools can be, from an idea to reality.
Yeah.
And 30 days later, you can have a tool company.
Yeah.
And then you can have more headaches and more headaches later
on.
Exactly. Pretty soon you're buying a booth at a trade show.
Yeah. But I commend all the guys out there. But I think you do have to, it's a learning curve though, guys. I'm going to tell you that right now. So don't expect, Myke Toledo strength metal. It's not doing it for me right now.
Yeah.
You still got to be a little bit aware and have some skill without that tool first of all. To really appreciate on how to use it. And then it's going to take you a little bit more to understand, get used to it, using it. And then other tips, I hope a lot of different ones come out, because just like different pushing tips, guys, that, from a soft tip to a midpoint to a whatever, they push differently, react differently, and then obviously depending on the type of sheet metal or aluminum you're pushing with.
Yeah. No, and it inspires other innovation too, as well. So, so that's a good thing about our industry. No one is alike. We're I'm not going to say it. I'm going to say it. We're all a bunch of snowflakes. We all have different styles
with mustaches and without.
Yeah, exactly. So moving on. There was one tool that just came out this week. I got it. Myke, you saw it yesterday at the tech meetup, and that's the new scanners from Autel. Anson is now the only PDR tool company that carries Autel scanners. They signed a deal with them that you could buy any one you want out of the Autel system, but we chose 2 out of their vast majority of them. There's a cheaper one that will reset all the codes that you might trip when you're taking out a taillight or a headlight or a headliner. And then there's one that's a little bit more advanced that has a lot more options to it. And it actually rekeys a lot of key fobs as well. So some people might want that too. But
oh, really?
Yeah. The big one that I showed you, you could actually, become a little locksmith in a sense.
So what's the small one? What's that going to retail for?
It's retailing for in the low 500s, and I'll pull it up.
That's affordable.
Totally affordable, especially when, I had Mercury Insurance in my shop on Thursday. She's like, do you need to do a post scan of this? I'm like, absolutely. And she said, okay, $125 for something that takes you 5 seconds to do. You're going to pay off one of these scanners within 4 or 5 jobs.
Now, what's the cost for the updates?
The updates, there's going to be more revealed. I'm still learning the whole program with it, but they're yearly updates, and it's not like Snap-on at all. That same machine at Snap-on would cost you $3,000.
Okay, go ahead, Myke.
Okay, you need to explain to people out there, why would you need one of these things? I'm sure maybe did you already touch base on why?
No.
About this?
No, we're just talking about it. So
somebody's going, okay, what the hell do I need a scanner for? Now, I know why, but I don't think the listeners know why it would be so important to get a scanner.
Yeah. Okay, so the reason is it goes back to liability, and we were talking about that earlier before you came on, Myke, with drilling holes, because that was a topic that was talked at the West Coast Meetup. But anyways, you have liability. If you take a taillight out and it trips a code, you put that taillight back in, they drive down the road and they get into an accident and say, someone rear-ended me because my brake lights were faulty. Even though they might have been working, there's a code that says that brake light is faulty. So you have liability for that now. That's one reason. There's a lot of liability that's going to be placed on the repair facility, and it doesn't matter if it's a PDR shop, an oil change place, or a body shop. When you start messing with the exterior of the car, removing doors or removing taillights and headlights, on an Audi, you remove the headlight. It doesn't matter if you turn it on or off. It trips a code and says, you need to take this to the dealership now and get it reset. Well, you don't need to. When you have a scanner, you could actually see the codes and erase the codes right there and charge the customer accordingly, or the insurance company.
Well, not only that, that's $150 just to go, have them do that too. Second of all, you got to take the car to the dealership.
Yep.
I mean, that's a big pain in the butt right there, man. And it's just getting worse and worse now. You pull different lights, headliners, whatever, you name it. You unplug something basically electrical, you can almost half the time get a freaking code that comes up.
Yeah. And on some of them, it doesn't matter if you turn the car on or off either. It's going to trip the code regardless. I know that for a fact on Audis. Like a Silverado taillight, if you pull a taillight on a Silverado, you get 17 codes tripped just from pulling the taillight. No way. Yes, it's been confirmed. So you need to reset those things, and there's liability involved. If they get into an accident, you're the repair facility that touched that taillight and removed it.
Not to mention, how many times have you worked on a car and then the customer comes back and says, "Oh, this isn't working," and you're like scratching your head. I'm fortunate I have a mechanic friend down the street, but I still have to drive the car down there, ask him to stop what he's doing, scan it for me, tell me what's going on. And I can't tell you how many times I do that all the time. I had to do my own truck yesterday. I had to check engine light on. I had to take it down to him, find out, was it critical or not critical, kind of thing. So it's very handy.
There's been plenty of times where I've had a customer say, "Hey, my check engine light's on now." It's like, oh, crap. All right, so I have to take it down to the mechanic or the dealership and have it reset. And most of the time, I throw them some money and, take care of them on the dent or something like that. But this is stuff that we could do in the shop. It's taking me away from fixing dents and making money. So
can I ask you a question? Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but like you said, like the insurance, like when you were dealing with the insurance, they said, would you like allowance for what is you call that?
Pre and post.
Pre and post. Now, how would that, because that's interesting to me, because I like that. Like, how could you add that? So do you kind of expect that if you're going to have to take off a taillight or something like that, can you pass it on to the customer or get the insurance? How does that work?
You can. Yeah, absolutely. You can and do it, because body shops are doing it. Why can't we do it? Many of us are doing big damage now on doors, or where we're taking off a door, we're unplugging the wiring harness and completely gutting a door to airbag sensors, window regulators, all that stuff. We're unplugging all that stuff. It's going to throw a code. Even if it doesn't show up, it's going to be stored in their computer saying that this was unplugged on that day. It's a timestamp, right? So you're able to clear all those things. That way, when the customer gets back in the car, off they go, and the car is back to normal.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, that's good. That's good. So is that $500 or $600 one does that?
It does. It's $535.95, and that's the MX808, and then the MS906BT is $1,895. It has a wireless.
Go ahead.
It has Bluetooth, wireless, a camera. You could recode keys. I talked to John from Mobile Tech RX and asked, because basically it's a tablet. I asked him, hey, could we load Mobile Tech RX on it? Because that'd be really cool. And that way everything is all on one tablet. And unfortunately, the scanners are on a lower software system and that won't really support Mobile Tech RX. So you can't do that yet, but that might come down the road as well.
Interesting. Now, with the smaller one, can you, because you want to prove that you've done these scans, so you're able to print, right?
You're able to print it. You save the file, and you could attach it into Mobile Tech RX possibly, or at least email it. You can email the customer or the insurance company the pre and post scans because it saves like a regular, file. And
is there training with that?
That's the good thing about Autel. They have a 24/7 helpline. So, but it's very user friendly. I only had it for like an hour and a half, and I already scanned like 3 cars. It was not rocket science at all.
All right. Well, believe me, man, because I'm not a very good mechanic, man. When it comes to that stuff, man, I'm being devil's advocate because if I buy something or invest in something like that, or the $1,800 one, which sounds very appealing. Yeah. I want to be able to use it right away and not go shit. I need to make time to go do all this training for it, yada yada. And then it's just collecting dust. You know what I mean?
No, you could probably watch a couple videos, 2, 3 videos, spend an hour on YouTube, and be well versed in how to use it for what we're doing with it.
Yeah.
Which
is I would use it. I like that. So,
yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, you're a techie anyways, and it's a techie thing. But obviously you'd have to be a mechanic to go in and start changing things and knowing diagnostics of engines, but we're not using it for that purpose. We're using it to see what codes come up before we work on the car, and then we do the repair, and then we plug it back in and print out a post scan, or before we print it out, we make sure that there's no codes tripped. If they are, we reset all the codes, and button it up, post scan it, and off it goes.
One of the things that I because I just had this done to my car, and I watched the mechanic do it, and it came up with something was wrong with one of my cylinders, and it was a clogged injector. And then he went online to a forum site, and it's guys using the same scanner, and they post how they fix a certain problem. So if you pull up a code that you don't know what it is or how to fix it, then you can go online and look it up and see how somebody else fixed it, so you can resolve it hopefully.
This is a cool thing.
You can charge for it.
You could go online right from the scanner. So you click on it, and it tells you exactly what's wrong with that or what that sensor is, what it does, and it's all built into it. It's
that straightforward.
Yeah, it's that straightforward. Yeah, like
nice.
We have a Sprinter van, a 2003, and that thing's always check engine light on, and there's always something wrong with it. But it operates just fine. So I plugged it in the other day, and there was like 35 codes on it, and some was like instrument clusters, and we have a drain on that. So it's like, oh, that's the instrument cluster that's causing the drain, because we're putting in new batteries every year. And things like that. You get to see everything in live stream, what's wrong with the car.
Can Myke tune his new hot rod with it? I'm kidding. Yeah. Okay. No. Anyway, so you guys had a great time. Hey, by the way, Myke, this is our 200th episode. So
yes, 200.
200.
Yeah.
Holy crap, dude.
We came a long way, huh? Huh, son?
Yep. All from that faithful night.
What year? What year was that?
We can't remember.
We barely remember that day.
Gosh, no, it's got to be 3 years ago at least.
I was thinking three. Yeah.
Well, with the new one coming up, wouldn't that make it 4?
I don't know.
I don't know. We're gonna have to.
It's been a long time.
We posted that stuff. We should go back and look at it.
Yeah. Well, we probably should know that.
Man, it's been. I mean, it's a lot of information, man. This is like an archive, like a encyclopedia of stuff, dude. I mean, listen, let's give everybody, props between not just PDR Tool Time. You got PDR College. You got more and more. You got Ryan,
Shutt.
Doing awesome. What?
Ryan Shutt.
Yeah, Ryan Shutt.
Zoloft.
I know. Right. I'm like, it's early in the morning, man. You guys are calling me. I ain't gonna make an excuse.
No. Ryan Shutt's nickname is Zoloft. That's what I've coined. You've coined.
No, it's not. When did you guys call him Olaf?
I call him Z-Man. The Z-Man Zoloft, man. He's so smooth and even kilter all the time.
Yeah.
Mr. Zoloft. So okay, I looked it up. Our first episode was February 16th, 2016.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah.
So 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
3 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
But we did the Drunk Tool review
at Mobile Tech Expo
previous year. So
no. Was it?
Yeah, it was previous year. We waited a whole year before we did the podcast.
Oh, okay. Wow.
So
right.
Yeah, I know that. I definitely know the Drunk Tool review thing has been around way before PDR Tool Time. So,
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But going back to saying, it's a great job, guys. I was just saying, and then, it's been awesome to be a part of it, and then come in and out of it. So thank you for bringing me on for the 200.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right. Well, listen, we're gonna wrap it up with that and make this the 200th episode, and we do appreciate everything you guys do, coming up to us and thanking us for the shows and all that stuff. It's a labor of love. We're here week in and week out to bring you, the latest and greatest in tools and knowledge and stuff like that. And we're just going to keep on going until you guys tell us not to.
Yep.
So.
Well, they're not going to tell you not to.
Yeah. So.
And you still go on.
Right?
All right, man.
I'll say, okay, so Daniel, take us out.
Guys, it's time. It's time to put it on your Christmas list and level up your tools.
Myke?
Hey, don't do anything I would do twice, and you guys know that.
And keep it stiff. Thanks for listening.
Visit AnsonPDR.com for the largest selection for just about all your PDR tools, where you'll find hog glue and hog tabs.
Don't forget to grab your Magnatech mat, available at most PDR tool distributors. Thanks for listening.